Are you ready to listen to a podcast?
Here comes the Playhouse Podcast, thanks to Bradshaw and Bryan Law Offices.
Find, subscribe, and listen.
I am very thankful that I have not had to make any decisions about loved ones and what to do for the afterlife and aftercare of their body. But I do know I've asked questions, and all of my family wants to be cremated. And I'm very grateful for that because it's less expensive. And I get to decide where I want to scatter their ashes, somewhere where we've had good memories or somewhere where they are suggesting it. Now, I'm very happy to learn that I'll be able to spread them farther and wider than ever before.
The end doesn't have to be a boring ride to the cemetery. Thanks to cremationsolutions.com, you can now celebrate the life of your loved one and send them out in style with a bang with the Loved One Launcher. The Loved One Launcher brings technology into the mix to both make the ceremony more dramatic and provide an effective method to release the ashes. Visit the website today and find out more about the way to add a festive celebration to the end of one journey and the start of the next one.
It is
with
true.
The Loved One Launcher.
And it sounds fun. Who doesn't want
This isn't a joke?
No, this is out of Arlington, Virginia, this company. They've created it.
So is this like a T-shirt cannon that we use at our events and it launches
Correct.
ashes up in the air?
Yes, it has the CO2 cartridges and it comes with confetti streamers because when you send the ashes up, they want it to be like a celebration, a party of that person. It's $375.
That's it?
And then have a nice little like reception after with some food and barbecue. It's like a gender reveal, but like they're not.
Let's just say, for instance, your husband. You know how he got hurt at work the other day where he cut his finger because he was trying to put a mouse in a battery in a mouse?
Yeah, he told some people last night about it.
Let's say that becomes infected. He gets a staph infection, and that's his untimely demise.
Yeah.
You're telling me you would want me to stand in your backyard as you invite a bunch of people to stand in your backyard and off your deck as everybody is below barbecuing, having a good time. Maybe the kiddie pool is full, but people are remembering your husband with good memories. You would like at a certain point to say, please direct your eyes forward as we give my husband a final goodbye. And I stand on top of your deck and I launch with a T-shirt cannon your husband's ashes into the air 300 feet. Mm-hmm. And he just spreads across your backyard. You want this?
Actually, it only goes 70 feet. And yes, I do.
This is bananas.
And he would too.
Nobody is going to go for this.
You don't want that done with your ashes?
No.
So with both of your parents passing away, they were buried.
Yeah, they both wanted burials.
And they want to bury it. Okay. How about you and Tricia?
I think here's why. Because my grandmother passed away 30 years ago, I guess. And my mom and my grandma were incredibly close. So my dad bought the two plots because my grandma had been divorced for a long time. So my dad bought the two burial plots right next to my grandmother. Okay. So, I mean, it made sense. They were already paid for and all that stuff like that. So if Trish goes before I do, I don't know. We've never really talked about it.
You've never, at your age, you haven't talked about it?
I've mentioned to her that I want to be cremated. I don't think... listen, I really look at this as like a vehicle. I really do. I believe in the soul and I believe in the afterlife. So I believe that the body is just... It's worm food at a certain point, and I'm okay with that.
I truly love the idea of a celebration and then like having fun with it.
I'm okay with that too. I like the celebration of life. You know what I don't like? I don't like funerals. I really don't.
Yeah, this wouldn't be a funeral. This would be a party.
After burying both my parents, the funeral was, if I could do it all over again, I'd want more of a celebration. Yeah. But it was really just, sometimes you get caught off guard. You know what I mean? And you just do what has been done.
Yeah.
And I get that because it's just, you're tired and you're sad and you don't want to start thinking about a lot of that stuff. And a lot of people are mourning with you and not really thinking for you. So that's difficult. But yeah, if you got a plan ahead of time, I don't want that whole burial, and I don't want people coming to the church and looking at my body and then sitting in an hour-long church service with Amazing Grace and then driving to the cemetery. Like that to me just isn't.
So you want to party and then you want to air that video that you're going to make outing everyone.
No, that'll be aired.
Okay.
I trust me. My lawyers have that. That'll get out on the internet right away.
You're sick. Have you ever had to spread someone's ashes? And where did you spread them? I love that story of the person that brought the baggie of, I think it was their grandmother who loved Disney, and then they sat on that train, but they didn't sit in the last seat. They sat like in the middle, so all the ashes went back into people's faces. And that's why you cannot.
That's Nana, everybody. What does that taste? That's Nana.
That's why Disney says you cannot scatter ashes here knowingly.
I want to play you this commercial again if I can.
This is a true product out of Arlington, Virginia. It's a cremation company, and they have developed the Loved One Launcher.
The end doesn't have to be a boring ride to the cemetery.
Nope.
Thanks to CremationSolutions.com, you can now celebrate the life of your loved one and send them out in style with a bang with the Loved One Launcher. The Loved One Launcher brings technology into the mix to both make the ceremony more dramatic and provide an effective method to release the ashes. Visit the website today and find out more about the way to add a festive celebration to the end of one journey and the start of the next one with the Loved One Launcher.
Yes.
I think I would be more into it if it wasn't such a hokey name like Loved One Launcher.
What would you call it?
I don't know.
What would you even call it? It's only $375, and then they also have an option to rent. So I would think if you have a bunch of people that you feel are going to die one after the other, buy it. But if you're going to rent it, comes with confetti.
You got a bunch of people circling the drain in your family. Buy one. It's more economical, but otherwise,
might be.
Just rent one for the weekend.
Yeah, so we're talking spreading your ashes. Is this one way you'd like to do it? Shoot them 70 feet into the air, confetti streamers.
Now, speaking of unconventional ways to have your ashes spread, Heather, thanks for joining the show. I saw your text. Can you tell everybody this was your uncle?
Yeah. So it's been like 25 years, and he wanted some of his ashes put on the stage of his favorite strip club.
No way.
What was your uncle's name? Can we just get Kat? Don't, before you say it, Kat, you get one guess as to what her uncle's first name was. What do you think?
I'm just going to say Denny.
I would have said Jerry. Is it either of those?
No, it's not. His name was James.
James, all right. Okay. So James wanted his ashes placed on the end of the stage at his favorite strip club, and
his favorite stripper to blow them across the stage.
Do we have her name by chance? Because I really need to complete the picture.
I don't know.
If you would have had to have guessed, then Heather, her name would have been.
I don't know, Mercedes.
Mercedes, okay.
I was going to say Mercedes. So did she agree to this? Because it could be like, this is not part of the gig.
She did, yep.
Oh, that's great.
And so it actually happened where his ashes were poured on the stripper stage and the stripper blew them across the stage.
But then they'd have to vacuum it off the red carpet.
And danced on top of your dead uncle.
Yep, pretty much.
But you guys made it happen. That's what I hope. I'm surrounding myself with people that honor my last wishes.
Was that a family event? Like you all went to it? Like it was the church? And did you all have to buy 2 drinks?
No.
Okay.
No. I was pretty young at the time, so it's been a while. I think it was just like one of my other uncles and another uncle when he did that.
And,
I got this one, guys.
And were they allowed to take pictures when this was happening? And
no, none of that happened.
Yeah.
No.
So it's just it lives in folklore amongst your family.
Yep.
I love it.
Does.
Thanks for sharing your story. Here's how I imagine this goes down.
Step inside, walk this way.
Bring your ashes.
I'd like to welcome Mercedes to the center stage. And who's that under those 9-inch stilettos? One last salute to Uncle James.
Look at her blow those ashes. What is happening?
2 guys sitting there.
Yeah.
Short cigars. Pour one out for Jimmy.
Yeah. Got that weird guy in the back
Get
of
that
the
money,
book.
Mercedes. Yeah. That's the one guy doing the crossword puzzle.
Yep.
Oh.
That is one of the best stories I've ever heard. And I truly think that if you don't honor someone's wishes, I have a feeling I know what direction you're going.
They'll come back and haunt you?
For either that or, I mean, you have to. They're dead. How can you live with yourself and not do that?
How does the rest of the family react, I wonder, to that whole
I don't think it's their
thing?
business. I don't think it's anybody's business. He's dead. Let him be where he wants to be.
Radio Paparazzi.
All right, so Sheryl Crow, she was surrounded by paparazzi and people that were pretending to be big fans of hers, and they have all the headshots and, little things for her to sign. And she's like, listen, I know you're going to turn around and sell them. So now she has a method.
You have to tell me 2 songs.
I got a microphone.
You got to tell me 2 songs off the last
Everybody
record.
knows 2 songs. Not off the new album.
Off the last record.
I don't really know.
You have another record.
Sorry, guys.
Well, I mean, honestly, it's like the soundtrack to our life. Just one each. Just one microphone. Please. Just one.
I'm into that. Just be a fan. Don't be selling this stuff.
I think she'll sniff out the real fans because they'll just randomly have her sign a napkin. You know what I mean? These
Or
guys
my
had
arm.
multiple headshots. Camila Cabello speaking about how she protects her own mental health, and I think it's really important that she's speaking out. She has a lot of young girls that follow her.
I think just talking about it and finding like-minded people who don't make you feel bad about it. I feel like toxic positivity is such a real and exhausting thing, and I only have room for friends in my life who I could just be like, I felt super anxious, and they could just be like, yeah, I feel you, or whatever it is that I'm feeling. There's just room for the humanity.
I think especially in her line of work, she has a lot of yes people, kind of fluffing all the time. And do you really want that around you? Just fake people constantly. Prince Harry featured in a new comedy sketch, but this is to promote this eco-travel initiative. It's called Travelist, and it is the premise is if you're going to go somewhere, treat it like how it has always been.
You're turning the tables on, if you go to a Verbo, you get to tell everybody what you thought of that Verbo.
Yeah.
But you can really be a jerk about it and kind of hurt somebody's income. This is kind of turning the tables, and people get to,
rate
when they get
you.
back, they get to rate how you treated their place.
Yeah, so listen out.
So I'm here to rate you on your recent visit to Aotearoa, New Zealand in 2018.
Okay.
You'll be moderately happy to know that you scored 3 stars.
3 stars? Mm-hmm. Out of what?
100.
100?
No, out of 5.
Okay, very funny.
According to my notes here, you were given 12 towels at Tim's Motor Lodge, and you only used 1 for the entire stay, so pretty good.
I don't think I stayed there. And 12 towels, that's pretty excessive. I mean...
Oh, you were very respectful of local communities. In fact, you even bought some local honey.
Yes, I remember that.
And you did not keep the tap running whilst brushing your teeth.
No, I never do. Hang on a second. How did you know that?
It's actually a quick clip of this comedy sketch. Watch it. It's so funny, and you're going to kind of get this newfound respect for Prince Harry.
I think he's a funny guy.
Good sense of humor. Blowing out their candles today, we have rapper, not so young MC, 55. Linda Evangelista, the supermodel, is 57, and Bono is 62. All right, so the, conclusion to the inmate and correction officer being on the lam, it's now come to an end, and they found them in Indiana.
There was a pursuit this afternoon in Evansville, Indiana. Evansville, Indiana is about 219 miles from here. The U.S. Marshals were in pursuit of a black Ford pickup. I think it was a Ford 150. Casey White was driving that vehicle. So this has ended a very long, stressful, and challenging week and a half. Casey White is now back in custody, and I cannot express enough to the U.S. Marshals Fugitive Task Force for the assistance they've been in this.
God, to go back to that jail. They're like, you're back?
And do we have another spokesperson, maybe? I understand that
He's
as
the head of it all.
I understand that as the sheriff, you get to talk, but I ain't got nobody else that's maybe,
I don't know.
Been to college.
But it was a tragic end because Vicky is dead. And
you said that she turned the gun on herself after they got caught, huh?
Yep, after the car crash, she shot herself, not knowing what the future was going to hold for her. And she was alive until she got to the hospital and then passed away, sadly. All right, so for the creepy yet adorable moment of the morning, sometimes you sit there and you have conversations with your kids, and the younger the better. At 4 years old, Madison, does she know what she wants to do and be in the world?
You know what I think? I think you're going to change the world someday.
No, I won't.
What? I think you're going to.
I'm evil.
Whoa.
What? I'll make everybody witches and bats and vampires.
And make them all sassy like you?
Yeah. No, I'm just kidding.
How you feeling?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. What'd you do yesterday? Anything fun?
Yeah, Derek and I got a couple of chef salads from Boulder. which are so hearty and delicious. Loved it. Picked up Liam, got his haircut. And I found this treasure. She is a gem. And you just text her and you're like, when can you get him in? And she gets him in and he's done in probably 3 minutes.
Is that like a salon or something like that?
It is
or
a salon.
Okay.
No, she has a place and it's always packed. I mean, it's like one of those like word of mouth, but like you have to book out like a couple of weeks. But it's just like a couple of bucks, 3 minutes in and out. And she's just a good deal. And I don't know if I could say where she is because I don't want her to be too busy for me. So I'm going to be selfish.
Good problem to have, huh?
Yeah. And then we had a baseball game last night. How Minnesotan was this? I get there and I had to get him there an hour before. And so I open up the concession stand and I'm trying to dry out everything because of the rain and getting stuff set for that. And then I hear the sirens go off. And all of us are just kind of standing outside.
Nobody takes cover.
No, people are setting up their chairs and then there are kids swinging at the park. It was like, oh my God, this is so weird. And but I mean, it was like sunshine, you know, so it was happening a little bit further away. But 8-3 beat Anoka, my hometown. So it felt like bittersweet, but it was good. Good night for baseball.
Boy, we got, I don't know, not even an hour of baseball practice in before we got rained out, which was kind of actually a good thing because then I got to go watch my daughter's lacrosse game at Rocori.
Yeah.
Have you been to the new stadium yet?
At Rocori?
Latner Stadium, the football stadium? Oh,
no.
my God.
Is it nice turf or what?
Yeah, it's turf, but just everything around it.
Yeah.
It feels like you're walking in to watch a game at like LSU or Ohio State.
Really?
It is so awesome. So to anybody that had anything to do with that, this is my first time. We were out there last summer playing baseball, and it was just kind of, they're working on some finishing touches, and I hadn't had a chance to be in there yet. But wow, my wife and I walked in. I was like, this is like the holy grail of football stadiums in central Minnesota.
Yeah,
it is very
awesome.
cool. Like I like Tex, and I thought they did a really good job with it. But walking in to Rocori's football stadium, wow! It just, you just look around.
Is Rocori that good in football?
Well, they won the state title here just a couple of years ago.
So that's what I was going to
yeah,
say.
for sure. It was just so impressive. I being a former athlete, I just looked around and I was like, I can't even imagine being a high school athlete and having this to play at. It was really, really awesome. So
cool.
That was kind of the extent of my day yesterday. Welcome into the Playhouse, where it's time to go down memory lane.
Do you hear this little girl? She's so cute. She was talking about how she has her first crush, but she can't get away from him. He's everywhere she is.
I try to stay away from him.
Right, that's what you should.
But when it's learning time, but it's games, I'm in the same group as him.
Girl, so it's kind of hard to stay away from him, huh?
And I don't know how to stay away from him.
Girl, I know it's tough, but you just gotta stay strong, girl.
You do. Back in the day, and we've had him on the show. Travis Joslin. He was my first ever crush.
This guy sounds uncomfortable every time we have to talk to him, though. Like, he needs to be able to shake this part of his life. I think he's had a great life, and this is kind of the little chink in the armor.
Yeah, that keeps coming back.
Yeah, it's a bad penny. You're his bad penny.
God, he ran through chicks. It was like, listen, we're in 4th grade, and he would give his Selects jacket to the next lucky gal. And so I only got it for a day.
Was somebody else's stuff in it?
And then my friend Cammie got it, and then Kelly got it. Kelly got it for the longest. She got it for a month.
Oh, she was hot, probably.
I'm sure his parents were like, "Where's your jacket?" Now looking back, I'd be like, talking to my kid Liam, "Where's your jacket?" But I want to know who your first ever crush was. I remember getting the butterflies. Oh my God, I was so embarrassed one day. I walked to school. I only lived a few blocks away. He was a crossing guard, and he
already had a position of authority.
Yes, he did. And so he had his long flag, and he was holding it like this. And I remember that morning, I couldn't find my backpack. I left it in my mom's car. So I'm like, well, I need a bag. I need a backpack. I found my dad's Army surplus bag, which is as long as I was. It was literally 5 feet long because you have to pack your life when you go away.
You look like Rambo walking into a new city.
I was dragging it like Linus, his blankie. And I'm like, he goes, nice bag. And I was like, oh, I only have a pencil in there, I think. I just felt like I needed a bag.
Did he dump you because of that?
Probably. I'm not going to date a girl with a bag like that, but It was like traumatizing. I remember all day. He's going to tell everybody about my Green Army Day. It was horrible. Look at my eyes. I'm like tearing up.
You
that was like
PTSD from this.
That was horrible. I remember feeling so embarrassed. And you're going to have to take it from here. Like, I am shooketh. Anyway, who was your first crush? Who was yours?
Her name was Sherry Guyan. And I had it bad for this girl in first grade.
What does that mean? Like you got butterflies? She was so cute.
Right. I couldn't talk when I was around her. Like,
that's
she was
adorable.
So cute. And I remember my mom and dad even knowing somehow that I had a crush on this girl.
Yeah.
And they would tease me. They'd be like, oh, are you going to call Sherry tonight? And I'm like, no, I mean, you cannot call a girl.
Uh-huh.
You know, I'll see her in school tomorrow. And I would do things like I'd put like our boots next to each other. Like even when he came in from recess, you always had to kick off your boots in the hallway.
Yeah.
And I'd always put mine next to hers so that when I'd have to go put them back on, we'd kind of be right next to each other. Like
strategy.
I was plotting, but to no avail. Like I think after that year, her dad was like in school administration. I think he took like a superintendent or a principal officer somewhere else.
Yeah.
And they moved away. And I don't think I ever, I don't think I ever saw her again.
Jeez. Yeah. You got a creep on Facebook. Can you find her?
Yeah,
show me what she looks like. I'll show you what Travis looks like.
I don't. Well, she can't have the same. That's the thing. It's easy to hunt for these dudes because.
Let me look, Trav. While we're looking up our exes and being super weird, call in with your first crush story. Who were they? How young were you?
Oh,
I don't remember before 4th grade having a crush on anybody. That I remember.
I think this is her.
You found her?
She's on Pinterest. Yeah.
Okay. You found her on Pinterest?
Yeah, well, I just plugged in her name.
Okay. Well, 320-251-1047 if you have one of those crush stories.
She
even better.
She hasn't pinned a lot of great things either. So
here, this is him.
I dodged a bullet.
The one in the hat. That's the one we've talked to.
You wore a hat to a wedding?
No, it's
well, you dodged a bullet then, too.
Oh, God.
Any guy that wears a hat to a wedding has got to go. Remember that first crush you had? Oh. And Kat actually was brought to tears here a couple of seconds ago by hers. What was so bad about him?
No, I just told the story about how I was so embarrassed in front of her, or in front of him. He was a crossing guard, and I didn't have my backpack that morning. And so I grabbed what I thought was a normal size bag and walked 3 blocks. And then he's like, nice bag. It was like a huge Army surplus bag.
Like your dad's duffel bag.
Probably like probably 4 feet.
Yeah. Oh, no, yeah.
Long. And I was just dragging it behind me, acting like it was a normal bag. Nice bag.
Can't believe you didn't end up with this guy.
Oh, God.
Nice Danny, tell us about your first grade crush here, right? It was first grade?
All right. So first grade, there was a girl that I went to kindergarten with at the same school.
Yeah.
And I was friends and everything. And so one day, she was, at the time, she was unbelievably beautiful to me. Biggest crush on her. And we were actually on the playground, and I asked her for a kiss. And that was my first kiss. Got my first kiss underneath the twisty slide in first grade.
There it is. There it is.
I wasn't even thinking about that stuff in first grade. That's crazy. You're starting young. When was your first kiss? She pushed you up against the wall.
It was first grade, yeah.
Was it really first grade?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I didn't get my first kiss till 6th grade. And then I just went crazy.
And it was mine was weird though, because this was this girl who I think she was kind of like, you're right, I think she was boy crazy.
Yeah.
So I think throughout the course of the year she kissed everyone in the kindergarten class. But I just remember the same thing. She just pushed me up against the wall, like by the lockers, and then kissed me. And she's like,
"Be mine."
She goes, "You like that?" And I'm like, "I don't like what you did. I didn't know what was going on. Like, I couldn't react fast enough. I didn't have a very good reaction to it."
"Do you like that?"
She goes, "You like that?" And I was just like, I didn't know what to say because I didn't want to sound like pervy. Like, yeah, mama.
Radio Paparazzi.
All right, so Sherry Shepherd, she's been kind of a stand-in. So has Michael Rappaport on the Wendy Williams show.
I like Michael Rappaport. I was watching a little bit of that the other day. I think he's a cool dude.
It's weird to hear him on Howard, too, because he's so just a foul mouth. And then he goes on there, he's like, let's talk hot topics. How you going? You know, stuff like that. Wendy Williams in a funky spot right now. Is she coming back? Sherry Shepherd caught wind of what she said, though.
I did hear Wendy say she will not watch me on the new show. And that's okay. I understand. She's going through a lot. I would say that everybody should be praying for Wendy right now. I'm very concerned. I'm really, truly concerned about her.
And everybody probably should be. It's been a rough gig for her.
All right. Alec and Alec Baldwin, they are just rabbits. They are having their 7th child, and they put together this cute little Insta video for people to find out the gender.
You deserve to live all your dreams. Todas las sueños. I can't wait to meet you, my daughter. My sister. I'm excited to see you, little sister.
My daughter.
My sister. My sister!
Alec Baldwin sounds exhausted. His last year of life has been pretty rough.
He has now 8 children total, or will, after this baby is born.
And then the shooting on set and everything.
Yeah.
That's just, it's a rough year.
Yeah. 7 kids, though, under 9 years old. That's crazy. All right. Emmy winner in TV Superman, Dean Cain. He was doing press for his new movie, No Vacancy, which is starring Einhorn is Finkel. Finkel is Einhorn. That woman.
Oh.
What is her name? It's like, it's a guy's name. Sean? Something.
I know who you're talking about. I can see her now, but I don't know the name now.
But she's the headlining name.
Gosh,
so you know it's
really?
going to be a box office hit. But he was talking about the one person that scares him.
I'm not afraid of a whole lot of things in this world, but Amber Heard scares the dickens out of me.
He's been on set with her and says that there have been just certain instances that he will not name. But I'm sure Johnny could call him as a witness and maybe corroborate some things. Blowing out their candles today, we have Not So Young MC, the rapper, turning 55. Bono is 62. And Kenan Thompson of SNL is 44. All right, college grads, they got an amazing announcement about their student loans.
You are debt-free. You do not owe the college a penny. If you have a balance, you had a balance.
Oh, I got chills. I have goosebumps.
Here's the problem, though. Everybody going through commencements for the next 6 weeks is going to hope that somebody says this, and they're going to feel let down when it doesn't happen.
I know. It was an anonymous donor, though. That's the kind of rich I want to be, where I can just go into this college in Texas and pay off 100 graduates' loans.
That's what I keep telling my kids when they were looking at schools. I'm like, you should look at places that are taking care of their own. You know what I mean? Like, I never felt that when I was in college. I never got the overwhelming sense that going to this school was going to help me in the future, that networking was that strong. Yeah. But I know St. John, like I said, my son goes to St. John's, and that was one of the big things that got him there, is knowing the network, and the same with my daughter going to St. Ben's now.
Okay. Okay, so around here, all we do is rely on technology. So this is a bit nerve-wracking that from now until June 2nd, Mercury is officially in retrograde.
Great.
A lot of people don't know what that means. It's kind of like an astrological celebrity of the digital era is what they're calling it. But what does it really mean?
And now, YouTubers explain Mercury retrograde.
What does that actually mean? Like when Mercury goes backwards in the sky?
Like the planet doesn't become Mars, but Mars is troublesome, and so
you are cursed?
Like the energy is not distinct, but it's not that big of a deal.
You are unable to communicate properly?
So it will affect 2 distinctly different areas of your life.
Because Mercury finds himself aspected strongly by Mars in Aquarius.
And this will last
in the signs of Gemini and in Taurus.
a couple weeks.
Don't have any surgeries.
And then everything goes wrong.
Especially cosmetic surgeries.
Really tune in to what the message is here.
Energetically propelled into negativity.
So now you know everything you need to know about Mercury retrograde.
It's Secret Sound Time with St. Cloud Toyota and 104.7 KCLD.
First things first, we have to say good morning and congratulations to Adam, who is caller number 10 today. Adam, we were just thinking during that last song, what do you think Jesus Condom is doing today?
You remember that guy?
No, it was like one of the most famous memes, Jesus Condom, because his name said Jesus Condom in his yearbook. Don't you remember that guy's meme popping up all over the place?
No, I don't believe I do. I mean, I'm pretty old, so I mean that makes me feel old.
How old are you?
I'm 31. So, I just don't like memes,
Just
man.
a baby. All right. Now, Adam approaches our show today disappointed yesterday because for $4,300, you had the right answer and you were caller
7.
Did you almost weep when you heard somebody win the money? When Emily won that money that was yours?
I was actually happy because, I mean, it was the same guess I had. So, I mean, it wasn't a guess. I knew the answer.
It confirmed that you were correct, so that made you feel good.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's hope for another right answer. $1,100 on the jackpot right now. Here is your secret sound of St. Cloud Toyota and KCLD, Adam. Give it one more listen here real quick. All right, we turn to you, Adam, and we ask, what's the secret sound?
I'm going to guess cat chewing on her, like, rice things that she likes.
Those rice cakes that she comes in here and chomps on really loud on the radio?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm a pretty clean eater, and he still like goes after me for stuff. Like I don't sit in here and eat donuts or anything. I used to actually eat a burrito every morning.
A bomb burrito out of the vending machine. Guys,
but that was like a decade and a half ago.
No.
He can't let it go. Now I have granola, rice cakes, carrots, and he's like, "What are you eating?"
Is this cat munching on a rice cake? And is that guess worth $1,100?
Come on, Adam.
It's just wrong.
Let's start with some good news.
I've got good news and good news.
Tell them the good news.
Good news?
Good news.
Okay.
Let's hear what's good today, Kat.
What a sweetheart. This 96-year-old Canadian musician is celebrating 30 years of singing to hospital patients.
The reason I do is because I know that people enjoy it.
Oh.
You can tell by the expressions on faces. That brings me back to such and such. That's useful. I mean, that's helpful because you're sharing a beautiful memory. Because it's raining, know it's raining
Oh, does he have a ukulele too? Is that what I'm hearing back there?
He is, yes, a master musician. I think when I'm that age, like, you know what songs where I'm going to be like, baby, baby, baby. Oh, like no classic, like back in the day music could I sing. I could do some Doja raps.
I want to hear you at 96 rap star,
like,
Nicki Minaj,
yeah,
anything like that.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And then have that old
This
person
one is
phlegm.
for the boys in the booming system. Top down AC with the coolest. Those are the songs we're going to be singing in the nursing home. No joke. And that is what's good.
It is the Menstrual Dignity Act. It was signed into law last year in Colorado. So public schools will be required to stock feminine products in both girls' and boys' restrooms. Instructions on how to use tampons and pads will be posted in boys' restrooms as well.
Okay.
First thought when you hear this?
First thought is, I don't think I ever saw anybody take anything out of those machines when I was growing up. Like,
What do you mean? They never used them?
No, I never really saw anybody needing to use them because we were always taught as like preteen girls that just always have a pack in your bag. Be discreet about it. I don't know. Have you seen the campaign? I don't know if it's Tampax, but it's people get their periods, not women get their periods.
Sure.
People
That
get
makes
their
sense.
periods. I get the campaign. I do. I was telling Derek, I'm like, that is one like line of goods that does not need to advertise. It's like, we'll need you. We will need you 5 days a month, so you don't need to advertise.
Here's where
it.
I think you're wrong on that. I think if Tampax keeps advertising, like it's Kleenex, right? Like, I mean, do you when you go to the store, you buy Kleenex, don't you? You don't just buy generic stuff, right?
Right.
So Kleenex
you don't just
works.
buy tissue,
right?
And
You know what I mean?
Q-tips is a brand.
You're right. I buy Q-tips. I won't buy the generic ones because I
Yeah.
trust Q-tip.
Right. So I guess I get why they're doing that because they also want to show that, you know, everybody is welcome to use their product. But I don't think it belongs in the boys' room because for probably the same reason as you, They can't handle that. They will empty that thing. They will pump quarters into that thing and do weird stuff with it.
Most teenage boys are dumber than primates.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I don't think we get past the evolution monkey stage mentally as a man until we're about 23, 24.
Yeah. This is not me confused about why it would be in there. I'm not confused.
I get the reason. I just think guys are so stupid they're going to mess this up somehow. Bailey, first thoughts when you hear this?
My thoughts are it's not that confusing because we all know about transsexuals now.
Yep.
And that we understand that they still get their period. So
correct.
That's just about it.
So maybe I said confusing in the sense that, those boys are going to be confused as to why is it in their bathroom now. I've always said that they should be free down at the nurse's office. You know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't make a student have to pay for tampons.
They should do that.
Yeah, exactly. So, and plus, just swing in and the nurse can just do one of those drug deal handoffs with the tampons so you're not embarrassed.
Or why not just have a basket of them laying out by the nurse's desk and just take what you need?
Exactly. And I think actually some schools do that.
They should have that for, like, all genders. Like, I mean, you know what I mean? It sucks that we have to pay for them and you're cranking the bathroom wall and they're like, oh, she's got her period.
Yeah. No, it's not me being confused about transgender. I completely agree and get the concept of why they would be in there. But
here's where it becomes detrimental is that teenage boys are freaking stupid.
Yeah.
They are, and they're going to do stupid things if you put a tampon machine in a boy's bathroom. They're going to do stupid things because they're immature as hell. And I think there's going to be a buffer period that you're going to deal with this for probably a couple years before these kids actually can get their crap together. And it's good that they eventually will have to, but I'm just telling you, it's going to happen because I was a teenage boy and I've raised two of them and we're all stupid as hell.
They're going to take those pads out and they're going to smack them and stick them on people's backs like my mom used to do to my little brother.
They're going to shove tampons up their nose and they're going to let that string hang out the bottom of their shorts just to be funny.
That's the only reason why they don't belong in that bathroom because guys can't handle it. You know what I mean?
Right. I totally agree.
The Menstrual Dignity Act was passed in Colorado, so that means all state, public schools will start having tampon and pad machines in the boys' restrooms.
Okay.
Fine. I'm fine about that. I think that the more equal you can make everything, the less different it is. You know, I mean, and there's this growing period, right? And we're kind of in it right now where everything is about equality. And that's good. I think it is because I don't think any human should have to worry about, how they feel and whether or not they feel displaced. But I do find myself concerned for the fact that teenage boys are just pretty immature.
It's very true. 6165, you hit the nail on the head because this is exactly how I would have felt if I had to go use one of those in the girls' room. She says, as girls, we were mortified to get caught getting anything out of that machine.
Really?
It was so true. It was like, oh my God, is anybody here looking for
Were they super loud?
feet?
Could everybody hear it then?
It was just, I don't even know what it was. Like, why are we made to feel so embarrassed about having it? It's like, listen, I have it. I need to get what I need to get. And I don't know if it was like judgment because some people got it earlier than others, but
I think it's because a lot of times you're not taught at an early age what the function of it really is.
That it's so
you know what
natural,
I mean? Like why it's part of our body.
Yeah, and I think right away it should be taught because now you can have a baby. And so that's why I think those health classes need to be a little bit more in depth. But Lindsay had texted, my son is 5 and already knows not how they work, but he knows the concept of what they're about and why women need it. Both of my kids will hopefully enter the world knowing some kind of detail about the opposite genders and their struggles. And I think that, just telling your kids, some people feel like they were born in the wrong body is a hard concept for them to get. But it's a true concept. If you're walking around and you feel like you were supposed to be a girl, can you imagine feeling so trapped you don't know what to do?
And if you're not exposed to it, it's difficult to understand.
Right.
So if this leads to exposure, then I think it leads to understanding, and then everybody's probably a little bit better off. Kim, thoughts on this quick?
They're not mature enough to handle
the boys.
That, like Kat said, they're going to put tampons up their nose and pads on their back. I think maybe in health class, they can teach them about periods.
I don't know why they wouldn't be teaching that. I have a friend whose husband can't stand the sight of her tampon box. She has to hide it in her bathroom because he will start to gag.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes, I know. So, it needs to be exposed, I think, earlier rather than later. These guys need to realize this is why you're here.
And maybe there are growing pains here. Maybe the first couple of years are going to be pretty brutal because teenage boys are stupid. But maybe after it becomes like an acceptable part of the situation and they're just kind of get used to it, maybe that novelty wears off. Maybe they expect that.
Yeah. You could only hope that more acceptance will happen over time.
And I think what we kind of forget, though, is our kids that are this age are way more understanding and accepting than we probably were at that age, for sure, that our parents were at that age. You know what I mean? They just understand. It's more part of their everyday life, and it's not as shocking to them as it would have been if you were in high school.
Right. Things have changed a lot in the years.
So weird.
Weird stuff. Everybody called me weird. I am weird.
You don't think this is a little weird?
No, I don't think it's weird at all.
Weird news.
So this guy named Chris, he is boycotting Taco Bell, I guess. So Taco Bell had his favorite menu item back in the day. It was the stuffed nacho. And I'll tell you what he's doing to protest in just a second.
I thought they got rid of it too soon. Like when I discovered the grilled stuffed nacho, I think it was the last week it was on the menu. When I had it, because they made me one, I was like, is this not going to be as good as I remember it? Like, it's been a lot of buildup. It was better than I even remember. I got to say it.
So what he said to Taco Bell is, listen, I'm going to show you, I'm going to exercise every day until you bring this menu item back. He's lost 87 pounds.
Did they bring it back?
In amazing shape. And they are going to reward him and make him just one.
So he'll be the guy that gets the one?
The one. And it's like, it's not like he's sitting there.
Way to show him, guy.
Yeah, holding baby turtles hostage or anything. He's like, I'm going to work out. I'm going to get
sweat
fit
until you bring it back.
You wait. I'm going to get so healthy. You're going to want to bring it back. And that is what's weird.
How much of a man is your man, Kat? On a scale of 1 to 10, just give me an answer.
I'm going to say an 8.
Okay.
He's not like burly or anything, but he's a man.
Does he follow the following unwritten man rules? This is being circulated right now. These are the rules. Unwritten rules for when you're a man.
Okay.
Does he understand that when your friend's crush is around, the friend is the funniest guy in the group?
Sure.
No.
Maybe I didn't understand the question.
So
phrase it again.
Derek's around.
Okay.
And he's got his friend.
Yep.
Does he understand that friend is always the funniest if there's a good-looking girl around?
No, I guess.
I don't either.
Oh.
I see an opportunity to make a joke, I make a joke.
Yeah.
I don't care whether or not you're trying to be funny in front of your crush or not, so I don't do that one either. Don't start drama. If drama begins, take a big step to de-escalate. Does he follow that rule?
No. He definitely escalates situations.
Is Kat's man a real man? Don't roast another man in front of their kid. Does he follow that rule?
No, he will roast you like you're on a barbecue.
Now, this is tough for you to comment on, but I can comment on this after knowing your husband for as long as I have.
Okay.
Another unwritten man rule is don't use the urinal next to an occupied one.
Oh.
He does not follow that rule.
Ain't no shame in his game, and I think he peeks, to be honest.
Of course he peeks.
Yeah.
I've seen him peek.
Because he tells me.
At me.
He does not look at you.
There is twice over the years that we've been in Mexico, and we've been at a bathroom where there are 4 urinals, and I go to the far one. He idles up right next to me.
He does not.
Just because he knows it's going to make me uncomfortable.
Good.
I don't want to pee next to another dude. I just don't. And he will stand, and then he will make eye contact with you.
Yeah.
And it's just...
Oh, he told me, he's like, it belongs in Ripley's. I swear to God. I had to get another look, is what he said.
Another unwritten man rule. Beer, pizza, and barbecue is an acceptable payment for helping another man. Does he follow that?
Yes, he does.
Okay.
Yep. He likes to pay people in what he thinks that they'll enjoy. So, yeah.
if a friend buys, now this is tough too because he's not a drinker, but if a friend buys you a drink, you don't buy him a drink. You buy the next round for people.
No.
He doesn't do that.
No. He's more tight with cash than I am.
All right. Good. Here's the last one. How well do you know your man, and does he follow the unwritten rules of being a man? Nod down when you greet someone. Nod up when it's someone you like and know.
Oh, I guess I have never paid attention.
As soon as I read that, I went, oh my God, I'm such a man. I do that all the time. If I'm walking down the sidewalk, if it's somebody I like, up. Hey, how are you?
Okay.
Chin goes up. If it's just somebody I know or if I'm just saying hi.
I might have noticed that every once
Keep
in a
an
while.
eye out for
I
it.
will now.
If there's a true man in your life, when he meets somebody on the street that he likes, Chin will go up. Hey. And if he's just trying to say hi.
All right, I will notice that.
That is the number one unwritten man rule. Unless he is a real true man. And then what he will do is teach at least one of your kids that if you type 5318008 into a calculator and turn it upside down, that's... Go ahead and give that wheel a spin. Thank you. All right, so this game is called And Scene.
Yeah.
So, God, this thing is so slippery right now. It just keeps going and going. All right, we're on... All right, so this is like this is kind of a hybrid category. It's drama/dark comedy. If you want to open that up, please. This is attached to that category. So again, what Kat is going to do, have you seen this movie?
I haven't. It's very timely.
Kat is going to read from a very, very famous movie script. And since we used to do this with several people here on the show, and then Kat got drunk one night and decided to text us all that she would be doing it by herself from now on.
Correct.
This is how it works. So she's going to start reading from a script in a very, very famous movie. And if you're the first to call and tell us what movie that is at 251-1047, then you win all the goodies. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Excuse me. Action.
Why is it snowing, Grandma? Where does it come from? Oh, that's a long story, sweetheart. I want to hear. Not tonight. Go to sleep. I'm not sleepy. Tell me, please. Well, all right. Let's see. I guess it all started with some scissors.
Name that movie, and we'll make you a winner. Darian, you're first through. What's that movie?
Edward Scissorhands.
You are so right. Nice job.
I don't know what it is about this movie, but I love it. I think it is so well done. I didn't want to wait till Thursday. I wanted to just see where people were at with this whole situation and the Kentucky parents that made their 6-year-old son, Rainier, run the marathon. It has my mind blown. Some of the videos and the photos that were taken of this child who was very much physically struggling throughout the race. Here he is, real quick.
Some of the training was like hard. I fall sometimes.
I didn't know if he was going to be able to do it. To watch his little body, it's pretty mind-blowing. Nothing we do is illegal. Nothing hurts anyone else.
We really care about our kids' emotional and physical health.
Mm-hmm. So some people were like, he was crying, he was moving slowly. They were like, let's go.
You ever run a marathon?
No, but I've ran a lot of miles in my life.
Did you ever go slow?
In practice.
Yeah.
But I
Did
was
you ever
never
cry because
6.
you were like, oh, this hurts?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
But he was 6. He's 6. And his parents made him. He knew that at mile 20, evidently there was going to be a table full of Pringles. So he wanted to make it to mile 20. But it took him 8 hours plus to finish this race. That is a third of your day. And they got to the table, no Pringles.
Oh, they were all gone.
So they had to look at this picture of this kid. They brought him to the grocery store and got him.
Oh, look at how happy he is. He's got all sorts of
he's happy
Pringles.
because he's like delusional. He's so tired. And I don't know why they would make a 6-year-old run a race like that. I just don't know if it's like acceptable.
Listen,
especially when he's begging to stop.
This is going to be an unpopular opinion, but this kid could have easily stopped anytime he wanted to.
Absolutely
if
not.
If he would have just been dead weight, he didn't have to run. How many times when your kid was 6 did he throw a fit and lay on the ground and just be dead weight? The kid could have did that at any time.
Maybe a couple.
Yeah, see, he could have done that at any time if he didn't want to run anymore.
Who knows the repercussions? Do we know what happens behind closed doors? These parents make him run 20-plus miles?
Do you also know that this won't make him a really, really strong adult?
I don't know that.
Right.
I don't know if he's going to forever take it out on them and have mental health issues.
And you know what?
He was
You're
made
right.
to do something.
And maybe he chops them up in the future. Maybe. But none of that, all of that is an unknown right now. I'm kind of looking at it like, that 6-year-old ran a friggin' marathon. That's super impressive, man. And a lot of training goes in. Anybody that's been a long-distance runner knows the amount of training that goes into it. You don't train for something like this and not have a mental situation that you're like, this is what I'm going to do. There's an end to the means.
You're saying the 6-year-old had the mental capability to...
I'm saying the 6-year-old trained for a marathon. And you know what? A lot of people train for something that's really, really hard, and you need a little extra push at the very end. That's why there are trainers. That's why there are coaches.
That I can't.
I don't know.
On board with
I don't
theory.
feel like this is anyone else's business. This is the parents' business, I think.
Would you be able to watch on the curb this little boy suffering at mile 20, legs jello? Parents, let's go.
I saw this when my wife ran her marathon. I saw this. We were literally standing at mile 19. My kids and I rooting her on. And I saw probably high school kids dragging, people rooting them on. They clearly wanted to stop, but they kept going. They got inspiration from the crowd to finish the last 7 miles. They trained hard for this.
That doesn't make my mind change at all. But a high school student compared to a 6-year-old child? There are years of conditioning and training and the mental capability of being able to see the end for what it is. He's just being made to do something so he can get some Pringles. I don't know.
What's your motivation? You go to work for what?
Money?
Right. The same with that kid. Pringles equals money.
Brilliant.
He's just motivated to get some food. He wants to do right by his parents. We all do this. We all do stupid stuff that we think are going to impress our parents.
And then the selfies that they took, and he just looks so miserable. If I knew my child was suffering, I know for a fact I could not continue on. And they're like, let's go.
You want to reset this real quick?
Yes, this little boy, 6 years old, Rainier, he was forced by his parents to run a full marathon with the promise of Pringles being at mile 20. He barely made it there, and then he had to finished in over 8 hours. I'm reading some of the comments from the people that watched it. He looks so sad, exhausted. I can't believe what these people are doing for likes, because they posted on their Instagram throughout the race. People are saying this is so disturbing.
Really schemed to just get likes on an Instagram post by making their kid run, and then they had to run this length.
I don't know if it's scheming, but I think that they could have stopped for the health of their child, and they didn't. But this is him.
Some of the training was hard. I fall sometimes.
I didn't know if he was going to be able to do it. To watch his little body, it's pretty mind-blowing. Nothing we do is illegal. Nothing hurts anyone else.
We really care about our kids' emotional and physical health.
Felicia texted in, little suffering builds character.
I don't know about that. Someone else said, remember this name, because in 20 years, he's going to hurt his parents. They also cited a letter that said in 2010, a study found that 310 marathon runners were between the ages of 7 and 17 would run the Twin Cities Marathon.
There it is.
And they needed medical evaluations to do so. So I wonder if he had one.
It's because you're underage. You're supposed to not be able to run one of them. I'm sure he did.
I don't know. I just see his little body, the shaking and the wanting to stop.
So resilient. They just need a little mental push sometimes. I just think, I don't know, Holly, thoughts on this? This little kid running the marathon?
Oh, my gosh, a full-on, 13-mile marathon?
No, a 26-mile marathon.
Oh, the 26. Yeah, the 13th half. Oh, my goodness. I don't know. Call CPS?
You think you would? You'd call CPS on them.
So JJ would stay out of it. He says let them... Parents.
That's child abuse.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. I'm like, listen, your kid does not want to do everything that you do. And to make them run that far, maybe the first mile, to kick it off. And then I just can't believe what these parents did, for sure.
And it's like, did you run 26 miles when you were 6? I'm pretty sure you didn't.
Nope.
I could have.
A lot of people calling these parents very irresponsible. Other words I can't say on the air. I could never make my 6-year-old child run that much and watch him cry and suffer. If this child was like, we're doing so great. This is such a fun family thing to do on the weekend, to spend a third of our day running, then I wouldn't have a problem.
I ain't
but
buying
if
this.
there are parents that are like, let's go, you can finish, let's go. I know that, and then your kid is like shaking and they can't physically do it.
There's a heavy level of hypocrisy here, and I'll tell you exactly how I know. Almost every one of these parents that's calling these other people a bad parent took their kid into a pool and bobbed their head underwater when that kid didn't want to go underwater.
For 8.5 hours.
But regardless, it's a traumatic event. You took your kid and you put him underwater. Why? Because you needed him to get used to the water so that they would be a good swimmer, so that when they were 12 and they went to the lake with their friends, that you didn't have to worry about them drowning. It's the exact same thing. You put your children through a little bit of trauma to strengthen them.
So you give them a life-saving class on how to make sure that they can swim and get out of that situation. You're comparing that to running a marathon.
If this kid becomes a high-end athlete and lives a really, really strong and pertinent life, then what's saying that didn't teach him to be a better human?
Look at how long people train for marathons.
I know.
The kid is 6.
Very hard to do.
If he trained since he was for 4 years, since he was 2, this is just, I can't wrap my mind around
It's a heavy accomplishment. Trending today is Kirsten Dunst reading some Olivia Rodrigo lyrics and how this makes her feel so old. You guys got to hear this.
I'm now going to do my rendition of Driver's License, a song that I'm not familiar with at all, and that just makes me feel like an old mom. I got my driver's license last week. No, I didn't. Just like we always talked about. Okay, because you were so excited for me to finally drive up to your house. But today I drove through the suburbs crying because you weren't around.
She said it made her feel really, really old to read those lyrics.
I'm sure.
What makes you feel really, really old?
There have been a few things that, my list is slowly building, which is really sad, but like snap angles. If you know, like your kids' age, their snap angles, they don't care about triple chins. They don't care, no makeup. They don't care what their hair looks like. Nothing. No filters. And they send weird things, like just to keep a streak going, just like a picture of the ceiling and stuff like that. I'm too old for parties that start at 9 p.m. I am too old for any drinking establishment that makes me wait in line to get into it. I am too old to sleep on the ground. I am too old to wear high heels for more than 7 hours. My list is growing.
Mine is so torturous. Listen, I did a lot of things when I was an athlete that are really coming back to haunt me right now, whether it's the spotty stuff in my brain, whether it's joints hurting. But here was the worst. About 3 years ago, I really started to love spicy stuff. Jalapeno.
Yeah.
I put Frank's on everything. I love sriracha. I don't just do wings anymore. I do the hottest buffalo wings I can find. The next day, though, Montezuma's Revenge.
It's bad.
It starts right under the breastbone, and for the next 48 hours makes its way slowly down the winding track.
Oh, my God.
And when it emerges, it is white hot lava.
All righty. Okay.
And it's to the point where I'm concerned for our plumbing.
Gonna eat through the metal.
What makes me feel old. That porcelain has no chance sometimes.
You know what else? These, I can't even lift my leg up that high. Look underneath. These sandals.
The struggle in your voice.
I can't. But they're so thin, and I love these flip-flops, but I need to go get Nike flip-flops with memory foam now because my
memory foam.
Yes,
my wife made the
heels hurt
comment
so bad.
My daughter's lacrosse coach had on those ones like you see that they're really expensive and they got the memory foam. She goes, I'm going to get you some of those. I go, why? She goes,
for your arches.
She goes, you need those. You complain about your feet and your joints all the time. You need those.
It's like walking on a mattress. You're going to love it. I don't know what is with me, but I've been doubting myself and like constantly double checking things more so than ever before. I did learn a hack a while ago when I unplug my hair straightener. I heard it on TikTok. I'm like, I'm going to start doing it. And it actually does help. Like when you unplug, you yell, unplug. And then
you wake your entire family to tell them you've unplugged your straightener.
Would I rather have them wake up to a house fire? So I think.
Or just unplug it.
No, I can't. I can't just unplug it because I'll get down the street. I'll get on the highway and I'm like, did I unplug it? But now with that hack, I help myself.
Can I give you a solution?
Mm-hmm.
A foolproof solution?
Yeah.
You can buy a Wi-Fi enabled plug that you plug into your outlet.
Yeah.
And you can turn them on and off from any place on the planet. So you could be driving down the road, pull over, look at your little app, and it would say bathroom plug disengaged. And you would know everything is off.
That would
Then
help.
you wouldn't have to wake your family or look like a doofus going, unplug!
That would help. Is that really what you think I look? I probably.
I actually think you look like that.
But
I think you make that face.
Listen, if you don't want to go out and get that little gadget, try that hack that I learned. It really does help. But yesterday, closed up the concession stand. But in my mind, did you really? And so I had to text my friend Dana and say, hey, can you wiggle the handle before you leave the complex?
Wow.
And so she did and set my mind at ease and I could sleep. I was like, I don't want somebody rifling through there. Like they're going to take away my privileges. And then before we left, I made enchiladas and I didn't know if I left the oven on. So I just turn around.
Do you find like that? You think this is a memory loss thing or are you just preoccupied with other stuff?
I think it is just paranoia. Paranoia will destroy you. It happens all the time. Almost daily, it's 2 or 3 things that I have to reroute myself. And I can't be the only one. I know that there are a lot of people that...
I have one thing.
And which is what?
Garage door.
I know you're always checking it. It's because there are a lot of moving bodies in your
there's
house.
100 people at my house all the time now. It feels like everybody's back from college and stuff like that. But here's my biggest thing is I feel blessed to have bought a home with a heated garage.
Yeah.
And I keep it at like at least 55 throughout the winter just to make sure that we can use the batting cage comfortably anytime we want. And it drives me bananas. Number one, that one of my kids will leave the garage door open at night and anybody can come in and just steal because we leave our keys in our vehicle like most people.
You sound disgustingly rich. Did you hear what you said? I keep my heated garage at 55 so we can bat comfortably in our batting cage.
We worked hard for that.
In our garage.
I'm not disgustingly rich.
It's disgusting.
No, we spend our money on things for our kids. That's it. And what drives me bananas, though, is number one, it's not the heat because, I mean, propane's expensive, but it's not the heat that gets me. It's that anybody could just come in and take anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That drives me. So I'm constantly checking the app for my garage door opener.
So whether it's candles, whether it's you left the window open and you get all the way to work, maybe you're 20 miles away from work, check the radar. There's going to be a storm coming through. Like, did you shut them all? You know you did. Are you like me? Are you constantly double checking things?
Number one, Reagan, go to school. You've got like 8 days left.
Does she have first period off? Is she getting a coffee?
I don't know what she's doing. All I know is that the day that she made a college decision and was accepted, she quit trying.
After all the mornings that she's gotten coffee and never swung any by here.
Yeah.
And you have clothed her,
She's
fed
a
her.
spoiled little shyster.
Yep.
Okay, but then she texted me as we were talking about the things you double check. And I double check my garage door all the time just because I don't like heating the outside. And I don't want people stealing all my stuff.
Yeah.
And right away, my daughter, Reagan, who's going to graduate here in just a couple hours, really, says, I double check that all the time, Dad. I got your back. And I'm like, you're the one that leaves it open all the time.
Yeah.
Cut it out.
A lot of people say my work, sometimes triple or more. Check, I'm a plumber and I don't want to leave without a leak. Absolutely. I would not want to be responsible for that. What'd she say? She's bringing us coffee?
Yeah, I'm at Starbucks right now, Dad. I don't have to go to first period.
Okay, Trenta cold brew, 2 shots of vanilla and a splash of cream.
Oh, and then she even sent a selfie because she's...
What a snob. All right. Anyway, this one,
This
Krista
is the
says...
spoiled brat daughter of my
making
wife.
sure the door is locked and that I have keys in hand before I leave. I lock myself out 2 or 3 times. I double check that all my outside doors are locked. If my car's locked.
You know what made me mental? That I was double checking 100 times a day before I disconnected the app. My investments.
You look at them too much.
I had the RBC Wealth Management app.
I did not do that.
I watched my account. I bet 100 times a day.
Yeah.
And the last couple of days, the stock market's been wonky, right? And so I've resisted the urge to see what my retirement fund looks like. I'm not looking at it. I'm thinking there's highs and there's lows, but if you just maintain the course, you'll get there. And I'm trying to ride that out. But that app had me genuinely working towards an ulcer all the time.
Derek
I fully
would
expected
constantly look, and I'm like, don't do that. We got to look every 6 months. We look.
I fully expected one day to just open the app and it said $7 million.
Yeah.
That's what I expected.
That's cute.
And it didn't happen, and it made me anxious, and I had to disconnect the app. I had to log out and never log back in.
Kind of on that same tick, Rachel says my bank account.
Yeah.
And then Lachey, L.A. Shea, says my phone, making sure that I have the ringer off or on because I missed too many crisis phone calls. What's happening in your life? That you have a lot of crisis going on.
You need to watch. It'll constantly alert you when somebody's texting or calling.
It's the curling iron and the windows and the candles and the stove. And
You sound like
always
just genuinely concerned about a fire.
I am very concerned.
The Playhouse Podcast is made possible thanks to Bradshaw and Bryan Law Offices. Catch the live show weekdays from 5:30 to 9 on 104.7 KCLD. Now, share this with a friend.